Puri, a senior editor at Gold Derby, here with Idina Menzel and Laura Veltz, who co-wrote the Oscar shortlisted song Dream Girl from Cinderella. Guys, firstly, congratulations on making the coveted Oscar shortlist. That's so cool.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Were you expecting that? Like, was it a huge shock?
That's a trick question. I was hoping, but yeah. Well, just because it's just such a different creature for me, because usually I'm up there singing someone else's song, and this time I'm, there's just, it was just such a gift to be able to write the song for a character that I'm playing, and be on both sides of it. And so yeah, just to be considered for this particular film and song, having been given this chance from my director, Kay Cannon, is just, the whole thing is really wonderful.
Yeah, it is pretty cool. It is definitely cool. So people who aren't aware, if you've been living under a rock, Cinderella is writer-director Kay Cannon's bold new take on the timeless classic. It's got a dynamite soundtrack full of great covers like Material Girl and Rhythm Nation, but it also has some wonderful original music. This song, Dream Girl, written by the two ladies that we have here today. And I'm just wondering, Laura, you're well known, right, as an in-demand songwriter, including some of the best music to come out of Nashville. I'm just wondering how you end up in this place where you are writing for Kay's new Cinderella adaptation.
I mean, you tell me. No, I am so lucky and so grateful that it happened, kind of fast and furiously. We share management and they threw me in there, and I was kind of, awestruck and excited, and it was delightful. I mean, I just feel so honored to have a platform to talk about something that I believe is really important and managed to be tucked, beautifully in this little children's film, which is kind of a bizarre opportunity. It's a way of speaking to children in subtle ways. And I just think it's addressing the kind of issues that I, want to have in my catalog and to have my mouth saying in some way, shape, and form. And this has been a dream. But it has been a dream. It's been amazing.
You're right. I want to delve a little bit more into the meaning behind the song, because it's not what I was expecting. I see the title Dream Girl. I think, okay, I know what I'm going to get here. Completely shattered my expectations. And I think a lot of the music branch at the Academy probably felt the same way, which is why we're here today. Idina, without being too hyperbolic, you're kind of musical royalty, okay? Maureen, Elphaba, Elsa, and now Vivian, right? So. Yeah. I really love this more complicated and empathetic version of this supposedly wicked stepmother trope. And she's imploring Cinderella to bury her passions, get her head out of the clouds, and kind of just get on with it, right? And I think that is, I've never seen or heard that before in a film like this. It's a circuit breaker for me in this film. We realise this Vivian woman, she's actually more complicated. She's not just the scary old Lady Tremaine. So I'm just curious, where did this come from? Where did the germ of the idea come from?
She wanted to humanize the character and not do your typical, the archetypal character that we've seen a bunch of times. And in doing that, she gave us the freedom to really figure out this woman's soul and her pain and her wounds. And what I love about it is that, like you said, it exists in more than one level. So it's got a personal and universal. When Laura and I wrote it, and Laura can help, communicate this with me, I was really thinking from my character, this woman that has been held down, suppressed, oppressed, who's allowed her dreams to be shattered, and is sort of the voice and the rage of sort of the inner voice and the rage that a lot of us have, the number that we can do on ourselves when we get in our own way. And that was kind of what I felt it was until we had written the whole thing. And then I realized that so many people that were listening to it were also, it was a way against, was a way to rebel against the quintessential, beautiful, perfect person as well, perfect princess. And so I love that it exists in so many levels.
Yeah. What about you, Laura?
I've been thinking so much about this, obviously, and it makes me think of one of my favorite quotes, Stephen Sondheim's, "Careful the things you say, children will listen." Like, that is so epically intense, and systemic oppression works that way. If your parent tells you something, you're going to believe it. Then you tell your child, they're going to believe it. Then they tell their children, and oppression just stays and stays. It's a generational hand-me-down. And this song, to me, is every voice collectively, every voice in our head. It's taking a turn on each doubt, like a doubt in your own head, just taking turns, this doubt, that doubt. And again, I don't know how we managed, but it's so beautiful to me that it's managed to be like tucked in a children's film, this important message that obviously Cinderella is arguing against, which is the only way any of us are going to evolve is if our children say no to us, essentially. And that to me is like, that's everything. What else are we here to do if not acknowledge what's wrong with the world and try to change it? And that to me is the most beautiful part of this. Is like every time I listen to the song, I tear up just thinking, oh my God, I've said that to myself. I know, like, not just women, you know, anyone in a disenfranchised setting, anyone who's oppressed can identify with the voice that says you can't, that you don't even acknowledge isn't yours. It's just a voice you heard on repeat from society, from your parents. And man, and then I would just texted Idina before we got together because I got all teary because the piano part at the end, I just, oh man, just the rage and the like acceptance, the facial expressions that she's making, like going back and forth from I'm so good at this to I can't be good at this. And like you can see it in Idina's eyes. It just really makes for such a beautiful acting moment, which I think the song is wonderful. But if it wasn't performed by this woman, I don't know if it would have translated the same way.
Yeah, I totally agree. This song's instrumentation is actually really unexpected. It's the rockiest song on the soundtrack, I think. Which is cool. It's not something that I'm expecting. And then Vivian's pent-up rage and disappointment turn to defiance and regret. And then we get that amazing, glorious piano solo after all that percussive stuff. And yeah, this is not the song you get in a family film called Cinderella. It's just something very unexpected. And congrats on kind of just flipping the table like Real Housewives of New Jersey. It's like, no, we're going to do something different here.
I feel like people, you know, always connect me to these amazing songs in my career that I'm so proud of, that are very empowering and uplifting. And usually the characters are saying, I can do it. I'm realizing my power. But the truth is, the reason why I've related so much to this character and then to wanting this song, and then Laura being able to really help me realize it, and having this undercurrent of the bass and the bottom end and the brassiness of it and the rock and roll aspect of it, is because the real me is, you know, yes, I'd like to be a role model to little girls and help them, you know, overcome their insecurities, but a lot of times I am in my own way, and I have felt unseen, and I felt like people have said shit about me that's, you know, hurt, and so I just related to, I think that even though it's set in a period piece, that we feel that way, you know, so often when just people aren't recognizing who we are and our talent, and so it was so wonderful when Kay actually picked our song. And she didn't just pick it because I was the actress. She listened to some other songs that were written for it, but it was a testament to Kay, and also to me really knowing how to really live inside something and understand the melody and how it connects, and the lyrics to the emotional flow and dance, that what I really feel like I understand, I know what I need to do to communicate what the character is feeling. And because I'm a singer, that's the first thing I think of, and how I communicate best. And then when you have a collaborator like Laura, because everybody on this panel knows you can work with people and then it can kind of go south, you know. But when you work with one that realizes what you're hearing in your heart and in your mind, and they make it come to life better than you could ever imagine. You know, it's just the whole thing's been such a great experience, and it's just by being here with all of you.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's so true. And we've run out of time, but really the lyric, the world doesn't need another dream girl. There's a lot of layers to that. And I think ultimately, I think we do. We all need another dream girl. And on that note, thanks so much for joining us today. We're going to bring you back shortly for our group chat.
Thank you so much.
A team of songwriting talent, some heavy hitters. They've all been shortlisted for Best Original Song at this year's Oscars. Just to introduce you all, I've got Ron and Russell Mael, who wrote So May We Start from Annette. I've got Idina Menzel and Laura Veltz, who wrote Dream Girl from Cinderella. I've got Nicholai Baxter, who co-wrote Beyond the Shore from CODA. I've got Diane Warren, who wrote Somehow You Do from 4 Good Days. And finally, I have Jamie Hartman, who co-wrote Here I Am, Singing My Way Home from Respect. Everybody, thanks so much for joining us today. It's a really exciting time. We get to talk about one of my favorite things, and that's movie songs. And I'd like to know from all of you who've experienced this firsthand, why do you think songs still play such a vital role in cinema storytelling? I'll go to you first, Diane, because let's be honest, you are the queen of movie songs. We've been listening to them for decades. Why do you think they still play such a vital role?
They always will play a part in movies. I mean, a song can, a song, you hear that song after when a song is used right, you hear that song no matter what year, 20 years later. I mean, Sidney Poitier, sadly passed away last week, and my favorite movie song of all time is To Sir With Love, and you hear To Sir With Love in it, and you'll be back in that movie. But a song in a movie will just take it to another level as well. Emotionally, it'll either tie it up emotionally or within the movie, take you somewhere else that nothing can take, because nothing can take you there like music. And when you have that combination of song and visual, and it's used perfectly, it's like nothing else.
And like you mentioned, Sidney Poitier, how about Blackboard Jungle and Sidney Poitier with Rock Around the Clock? Pretty astounding use of a rock song for maybe the first time in a
rock and roll song was Rock Around the Clock, and that wasn't it.
Yeah. So it's a pretty amazing thing, and also another film that Sidney Poitier was in. So yeah, it's amazing.
But Russell, why do you think songs still play such a vital role? I mean, they're super important.
Well, I mean, they really can, just set a tone for what the film is about, the sensibility of the tone, the sensibility of the story, and so it's, it's always been throughout, cinema history, music has played a part, and, it conveys sometimes emotions that maybe, obviously actors can convey emotions. That's what they do. But then the song can enhance those emotions too in the films, and they serve as a kind of an addition to help out the the emotional the emotional quality of what's going on in the story and the tone of the film. And so I think there'll always be something really important in films.
I would echo what Russell said. I mean, it's when the dialogue can't fully express an emotional tone, music can sometimes do that in ways that even the most incredible dialogue and most incredible acting can't do. And that's why, I'm a fan of the right kind of musicals. I mean, we're big fans of Umbrellas of Cherbourg, that sort of musical where it's kind of wall to wall. And also I think, there are films that aren't musicals where the music has a real power to it. Like my favorite use of a song in a movie is Fight the Power of Public Enemy, from Do the Right Thing, because I just think it sets the most incredible tone for that film, and even went beyond what most musicals can do as far as just the the power of an opening statement.
I was going to say that just the timelessness of what a song is. I mean, all of us understand that just from writing songs, there's a timelessness to them, even if they're timestamped from a musical standpoint. The lyrics maintain a sense of timelessness. The song that came to mind was America from West Side Story. Obviously, sometimes top of mind, but America, I mean, it in a funny, amusing way describes a problem. And it is incredible to me that it was written so long ago. And then we hear the modern version, and it not only sadly hasn't changed, but like it's still amusing, it's still funny, and it's still true. And I don't know, that kind of stuff really stays with me, the stuff that addresses a problem. And that's how we fix things, is when we can acknowledge a problem. And I don't know, even if they haven't changed much over decades, it's still beautiful that songs can bring you right back to this feeling and just maintain a sense of timelessness.
Yeah.
I mean, there's something, if you don't mind me jumping in, just what I was going to say is songs fulfill very basic emotional functions if they're great. You know, they make you want to cry, they make you want to dance, they make you want to fuck, they make you want to rage, or they make you smile when you need to smile the most, you know, and emote. So those emotions being put together in such a blunt and brilliant way, if you do really couple that with the right dialogue and the right scene, you get movie history. You know, would Jaws be without the music? I mean, honestly, you know, that's not even a song. That's just the music, let alone lyric.
It's 2 notes.
Right? And in Phineas's absence, what would Bond be without you know, Diamonds Are Forever or Goldfinger? I mean, these classics. It's just that really does give the extra dimension. There is watch a movie without the music. It's a very different experience. Imagine if Idina hadn't sung Frozen. I mean, you know, listen, just all these moments are just such key. They stay with you from the moment you first start watching movies, all the way through your life, and they punctuate specific moments in time.
I was going to say The Way We Were for me, and that's poignant as well. Weekend. Yeah. I mean, that's just one of those songs. It's just so iconic, and I just wanted to sort of repeat what I think, I forget who said it in the beginning, but just there's something intangible about the way music kind of seeps into us and our souls and connects with an audience, and you don't need words. And I also love the dance and the collaboration in film, or like in musicals as well, but in this case in film, that a bunch of people come together. Sometimes they're even working in silos, you know, it depends. But this idea that we're all inspired by each other's artistry and then come together to find this unique moment that feels right. It has to feel right to everyone, you know, it can't just be right to me. It has to impact everyone before they even release it into the world, you know. So it's this beautiful dance that I love working with everybody in this capacity. And anyway, that's my take.
Yeah.
Can I say one thing? The Way We Were, we just lost Marilyn Bergman.
Yeah.
A couple of days ago. Speaking
I said it.
What is happening? It's just too many legends.
2022 wants to kill us all.
Yeah, and just to echo what everyone else has been saying, also just from my perspective working on this film, where you have 2 deaf parents trying to understand their daughter's passion for singing, it gives you a completely different perspective on music and its power, and it gave me a different perspective on music and film in that context. And it's almost more powerful through the contrast of music and silence, and it's the song is powerful, but what surrounds the song and its placement in the film can also add to it, because sometimes song isn't the right thing, and it can be incredibly powerful if put in the right place in the right context.
Legend.
Absolutely.
Think of the guitar chord starting Hard Day's Night.
Oh yeah, right. Like
that just set that whole thing up. That just one
set the hook.
Just brilliant. Some of you have already mentioned your favorite film songs of all time, but I'd love to talk about a few more. Like there was mention, obviously we have Idina on the chat. Frozen for me, because when that came out, my kids were very little, and I think we probably sang that together for 6 months, maybe. And I remember watching Idina singing it at the Oscars, and
Dean, what was your name then? You had a different name. Dean.
Yeah, I think that was when you were Adele Dean, but that's a whole other story.
I had 8 bars to get my shit together and say, like, it's okay that he now fucking remember the lyrics and sing, Meryl.
It was a great moment. We'll never forget it. But that song to me has a lot of meaning personally. It actually sound like a bit crazy, but it sometimes brings a tear to my eye because I think about my daughter singing it in her Elsa dress. That's me, but I'm curious if anyone else has any other songs from the last 90 years of the Oscars when we've seen just some people are so cynical about movie songs. They think, oh, it's just written because the studio wanted it, but that's bullshit. It actually brings so much to a film. As I think one of you said, it might have been Diane, the timelessness of it, or maybe it was Laura, I can't remember now. So talk me through other songs that we've got like 2 minutes to go until the end of this chat.
I say really fast. Born Free.
Oh.
Ooh.
I'm an animal advocate lover. That when Elsa brings her baby cubs back and Born Free starts, that's a
that's a great one.
It's a great one. I'm throwing in Colors of the Wind from Pocahontas.
Oh yeah.
Came up on a call earlier. Just an amazing arrangement, amazing lyric. Probably even more relevant today than it was when it was written.
Yeah.
The entire. Wait, what did you say, Idina?
Falling from Once.
Oh,
yeah. We'll just.
Oh, I was going to just say the entire Robin Hood, original Robin Hood, the animated film, top to bottom.
Yes, that is so underrated.
Totally.
Thanks for reminding me about that one.
Falling.
Oh man, I was going to go with Moon River, but then you said that, and I'm like, because we were talking about it yesterday, Diane, weren't we? I had to give props to a conversation we had yesterday. But Moon River is wonderful. But then you just took me to Bare Necessities from Jungle Book. Come on, I mean, pretty from one extreme to the other.
What about the Mael brothers? What comes to mind when you think about the best movie song? It's hard.
Ron had mentioned already Umbrellas of Cherbourg, and it's like that music. If you the final scene of that film at the gas station in winter, when they kind of pound that theme about 100 times throughout the movie, but it's like, if you're not crying at that point when you hear that theme song yet another time at the saddest ending of any movie, and it's like without that music, it's like you can't divorce the film from the music. It's like one and the same, and it's just so powerful.
Music never
I
gets
don't
fatiguing
want
in
to
that
be
film either.
manipulated by music in that way, but you're powerless.
So true. It is so true. You know what, everybody? This is an extremely strong year for songs in films. Your shortlist includes people like Billie Eilish and Lin-Manuel Miranda, James Samuel, Jay-Z, Beyonce, Van Morrison, Her, U2, Brian Wilson, Jim James, Pasek and Paul, and of course all of you. That's incredible. The fact that you've made it this far is so wonderful. I hope you recognize that. And on that note, I want to thank you for your time. What an incredible chat. I really appreciate it. And good luck at the Oscars, whether you're nominated or not. We really appreciate your songs, and I'll be listening to them for the rest of the day.
Thank you so much.
All of you.
Everybody,
Love it to be.
stay safe.
Thank you.